Hi everyone, my name is Steve Rowe, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about the structure of kata. To sort of clear up a couple of points, the word bunkai, first of all, that's used quite a lot. Bunkai means to break down and explore. If you're talking about application, that would be Iaido, although a lot of people use the word bunkai for application. But the reason that it's interesting to see it as to break down and explore is that kata's got what they would call three treasures. The first one is health. To be honest, even if you're looking at it from a self-defense point of view, the thing that's most likely to kill you is your health. So health is important. Training within kata, you'll be looking at posture, breathing, mindfulness, and a variety of movement, so therefore by training you are looking after your own health, both physical and mental. The second one is skill, and a lot of kata are constructed not directly for fighting, but the combination of techniques. You know, when you go up, you go down, when you go this way, you go this way, you've got long turns, short turns, with a combination of different types of techniques is to improve your skill. So improving skill level is the second treasure. And the third one is the boxing application, or the fighting application. But by the time you get to fighting, when you can see that it's for health, it's for skill building, to get to the fighting application, often you're kind of unravelling a big knot to be able to do that. So I think in understanding that first gives you a good base. One of the reasons to do kata is one, because it does engender good health. It's something that you can do and practice on your own. It's something you don't need any specialist equipment for. You don't have to go to a gym. You can just practice form, and it's structured in such a way that it will improve your health, it will improve your skill base, and then of course when you get a partner you can also work on application. So kata can be a very good thing to do. When you look at katas, they're all different types, and often they're structured for different reasons as well. You've got a system kata, so if you look at ones like Kushanku, Chinto and so on, you can see there's an entire martial arts system kind of rolled up inside that one form or that one kata. And that makes them absolutely fascinating, because you can see when you're putting together a training kata as such, you are building it in such a way that you don't want to keep repeating things. So often when you're untangling that knot, the same skill can be used for a variety of different moves. So it can be used for striking, boxing, locking, strangling, chunking, this angle and so on. When you look at some of the system kata as well, it's good to remember that quite often you're doing two katas in one. You're doing one for the left side of the body and one for the right side of the body. If you find that a bit confusing, if you look at a form like, say, Chinto, or any form or kata that might have where you're doing a kind of back stance, and you turn and you've got one hand up and one down, and you're leaning in one direction, normally, traditionally, your head would be facing the side where you would be avoiding or blocking something. Therefore, when you look at a form like Chinto, you might think he's doing block, 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 what's going on? But actually, just turn the head round, and you look at the other side and you can see his foot is going behind the leg, you're trapping a leg, trapping a knee, you're hitting with an elbow, shoulder, head, and then often with the side, on the other side you're actually pulling, so you can be throwing, locking and so on. Changes the kata completely. It's quite clever. But of course in the old days they didn't want anyone who was spying on their training system to be able to really understand what they were doing. So the okuden, or the hidden level of what they were doing, just literally just turn the head, and it's a completely different form. Coming down from those, historically it's very difficult to say where most katas come from, and everyone seems to have a theory, and they would say the Pinan katas came down from Kushanku and Chinto, and others say they existed before but they were changed so that they fitted as the katas that lead up to the main system katas, and you can certainly see a lot of likeness in that. So when you look at Pinans 3 and 5, they fit neatly into Chinto 1, 2 and 4. build up to the skills in Kushanku and so on. But then you can deal with, look at katas like Sanshin. Sanshin, for me, is one where you can learn the internal system extremely well. For me, it's a perfect kata of learning how to use the core and the spine. So it embodies perfectly, Sanshin, often people say 3 battles. I think quite probably the resolution of the conflict of 3 is a fairly good translation between mind, body and breath. And bringing those together by the method of breathing, the method of moving, the postural alignments, and being able to manipulate the core and the spine, which we'll do a separate video about later. But the ability to be able to manipulate and pump that in Sanshin engenders, 1, good health, and teaches how to use the internal system. Tensho is built on top of Sanshin, so once you have those skills, you then do the 5 animal boxing system in Tensho, and there's a wonderful system of trapping, locking, throwing, striking and so on. Within those few moves, there's an incredible amount of application that can be used for that. Naihanchi takes those 2 skills and then adds in a Fajing aspect or body shaking aspect to send the pulsing power out. So the transmission of energy from the feet through the core, and you've got the opening and closing of the upper body, the turning of the waist against the hips, the vibration of the hips, but the ability to be able to draw that pulsing power out from the feet and transmit it through the hands. It's an absolutely excellent form. So you can see each one of those, Sanshin, Tensho, Naihanchi, put them together, they're a skill building set of forms. Loads of applications, but actually it's the skill building to me that would be the most important part. So the health aspect and the skill building, certainly, and then you've got some applications. So analyse and look at the forms and katas that you've got. Take the historical information that you can, but I wouldn't rely on that too heavy, because everybody seems to have an agenda of where katas came from and what they did and so on. And I'm lucky because I did Japanese and Chinese systems. I know most of the Chinese applications to the moves that are in the Japanese kata, which makes it very interesting indeed, and actually very different from the people that are teaching application to kata in the Japanese systems. So very interesting. But have a look at the structure of kata. When you're choosing or looking at the kata that you're going to train with, find ones that fit together, so you've got a good training system. Thank you very much.